In the quiet shadows of the McLaren garage, there's a young man who doesn't look like the next champion of the world. He doesn't strut like he owns the grid. He doesn't wrap himself in the armor of ego or theatrics. His voice isn't booming. His presence isn't commanding in the way we've come to expect from racing royalty. And yet, when he puts on the helmet, the transformation begins. The atmosphere sharpens. The paddock seems to hold its breath. The engine note feels heavier. Because Lando Norris, against all odds, against all expectations, is becoming the one thing Formula One both loves and fears the most: inevitability. Not because he says so, but because he's quietly, ruthlessly reshaping the pecking order. Lap by lap, corner by corner, race by race. Lando isn't crashing the party. He's hosting the next one. F1 isn't just about who's the fastest. It never was. It's about survival. It's about decisions made under G-forces that would break most people. It's about listening to your heartbeat while hearing the voices of 20 engineers in your ears. It's about tire degradation, wind speed, brake temperatures, fuel maps, and gut instinct, all in the same tenth of a second. It's about facing down titans and still believing, knowing you belong. In that unforgiving crucible of calculation and chaos, Lando Norris has done more than simply arrive. He's taken hold of the future with both hands and refuses to let go. But to understand how he got here, to understand what really separates him from the others, we have to rewind past the champagne showers, past the selfies with fans, past the roar of the crowd and the click of paddock cameras, back to the silence, back to the beginning. Before the legend, there was a boy in a cart, not born into motorsport royalty, not handed the keys to the kingdom, but immersed in it. A family that valued performance over pretense. Weekends spent not at luxury resorts, but on damp karting tracks. Early mornings, late nights, engines, data sheets, calloused fingers, and cold breakfasts. There was no prophecy that said Lando would make it. Only persistence. It's easy to forget how many don't. How many talented kids never get the chance to even touch an F1 car. But Lando didn't just touch one. He made one dance. He moved through the junior formulas not with flash, but with a kind of surgical consistency. While others soared and crashed, Norris refined. While others shouted, he listened. He was building not just skill but identity. And that's what makes him so dangerous now. He knows exactly who he is. Even in the cockpit, where everything screams chaos, Lando is calm. But he's not cold. And that's what draws people to him. He doesn't hide his emotions. He doesn't shield his insecurities behind arrogance. He talks about pressure. He talks about fear. And somehow it doesn't make him weaker, it makes him more lethal. Because while others suppress emotion, Lando uses it. He turns adrenaline into instinct, doubt into aggression, pressure into precision. And the results speak. In 2024, it wasn't just the podiums that shocked the grid. It was the rhythm. Race after race, he didn't just survive. He sculpted masterpieces. Monaco wasn't just a highlight. It was a declaration. Australia wasn't just a win. It was a statement. By 2025, that whisper had become a roar. He wasn't just McLaren's lead driver. He was its identity. A spearhead slicing through the expectations of a sport built on legacy and hierarchy. But greatness in Formula One doesn't come from one good season. It's not about peaking. It's about enduring. Because F1 is brutal. 20 of the most elite athletes on Earth. billion-dollar machines. Data analyzed down to the molecular level. You get one shot every weekend. One chance to deliver. The pressure isn't theoretical, it's physics. It's real. And in that arena where the margin between fame and failure is measured in milliseconds, Norris is becoming something else. Not just a competitor, a disruptor. Let's talk comparisons. Max Verstappen, the enforcer of this era. Relentless. Fearless. A driver who bends the grid to his will. For years Max stood, unchallenged, a whirlwind in Red Bull colors. But now, something's shifted. Lando doesn't look intimidated. He looks equal. He matches him in qualifying. He battles him in wheel-to-wheel fights. He makes Verstappen adjust, makes him second-guess. And that, right there, is the ultimate compliment. Then there's George Russell, the cerebral tactician. A driver who plays percentages, who thinks 3 corners ahead. But put him next to Norris, and you'll see it. Lando turns the race into something else. He brings chaos, unpredictability. He's the type to take a line no simulator can predict. And in a sport obsessed with control, that makes him terrifying. Charles Leclerc. Fluid. Beautiful. A driver who looks like poetry in motion. But poetry doesn't win knife fights. Lando turns races into battles of attrition. He's the guy who refuses to yield, who makes every pass a war. He doesn't just race Leclerc, he rattles him. Hamilton, the legend, the benchmark, the living blueprint of excellence. When he and Norris go wheel to wheel, it feels like the passing of something intangible, the future squaring up to the present. And sometimes, Lando looks like the one with more to lose, because he's still rising. Alonso, the eternal tactician, a chess master disguised as a racer. And yet, even he has shown glimpses of recognition, because Lando is learning. Every overtake, every failure, every podium, he's digesting, adapting, rebuilding. And then there's Oscar Piastri, the storm behind the storm. Same car, same tools, same team. The only person who can touch Lando without excuses. Their rivalry is quiet, controlled, no fireworks, no feuds. But every lap between them is loaded. Every pit stop feels like a test. Every qualifying lap carries weight. And yet, race after race, Lando holds his ground. Because the battle with Oscar isn't about animosity, it's about supremacy. Only one can be the face of McLaren. Only one can inherit its soul. And right now, the scales tilt towards Norris. But let's zoom out. Let's go beyond the teammates and rivals. Let's talk about inevitability. Because that's what greatness truly is in F1. It's not a fluke win in the rain. It's not a lucky undercut. It's a presence. A feeling that no matter the conditions, no matter the grid, no matter the drama, this driver will be there. At the front. In the mirrors. In your nightmares. In 2025, Lando Norris is becoming that presence. He no longer waits for opportunities. He engineers them. He doesn't crack under pressure. He converts it into pace. He's stopped playing by the rules of the veterans and started writing his own. There's something else too. It's not just about results. It's about evolution. You see it in the body language, in the way he walks through the paddock, in the way rivals glance at his garage. They know it. His team knows it. Even his doubters are starting to whisper it. This isn't a phase. This is the new order. Because while the sport obsesses over legacy and dynasties, Lando is building something more dangerous. Momentum. You can't coach what he has. You can't simulate it. It's a mixture of instinct and intelligence, of timing and temperament. It's in the way he feels the track, in the way he talks to his engineers, in the way he recovers from failure like it was fuel. He doesn't need to win every race. He just needs to keep showing up where it matters most, in the fight. And now he's not just showing up, he's leading. He's leading McLaren's revival. He's leading the future generation of drivers. He's leading a narrative that, until recently, was reserved for others. Not long ago, he was the Twitch streamer, the meme, the likable kid. Now, he's the one the rest of the grid prepares for, strategizes against, fears. So when the historians sit down, years from now, and ask who defined this era of Formula One, it won't just be Verstappen. It won't just be Hamilton. It will be Norris. Because while others chased points, Lando chased perfection. While others looked for advantage, Lando became one. While others peaked, Lando rose. And he's still rising. Because champions aren't born at the finish line. They're forged in the corners, in the missteps, in the heartbreaks. And Norris, he's had them all. But now, he's turning them into armor. He's no longer just racing for podiums. He's racing for history. And history, it's starting to pay attention. Because but some Lando drivers Norris, he fights for fight inevitability. And if you listen closely, if for you relevance, really, some watch. Fight race by 4. Redemption. Race, he's winning that fight lap by lap. You'll realize something chilling.